The Witch and the Cursed Drum. The first time we heard the drum, it came from the forest. It was deep, slow, and heavy, boom, 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 like a heartbeat from the ground itself. It wasn't normal. No one was playing it. That night, my uncle, Baba Connor, said it was a warning. It means someone will die, he whispered. His face was pale, his hands shaking. I laughed, thinking he was just trying to scare us kids. But then, we heard the scream. A woman's voice. Long, painful, cut off too soon. The whole village ran to the forest edge, but there was nothing, just darkness and the smell of something rotten. The drum had belonged to a witch. A long time ago, a wicked woman named Mama Neka lived deep in the forest. People feared her because they said she could steal voices and trap souls inside her drum. She used to play it at night, calling spirits from the shadows. One day, the villagers had enough. They burned her house and chased her away. But before she vanished, she left a warning. One day, my drum will play again. And when it does, I will take what is owed. For years, no one heard the drum. People forgot. But now, it was back. After that first night, people started vanishing. A young boy, a hunter, an old woman, they all went missing after the drum played. No signs of a struggle, no footprints, just silence. My grandmother said, if you hear the drum, do not answer it. Do not look for it. And whatever you do, never, ever touch it. But some people didn't listen. One night, a brave young man, Jide, decided to go into the forest to find the drum. He was tired of living in fear. It's just a stupid old drum, he said. It's not magic. He never came back. His mother cried for days. His father went looking for him but found nothing, except for a single footprint in the mud, much too big to be human. And then, the drum started playing closer to the village. The night of terror. That was when we knew the witch was coming back. The air turned cold. Animals stopped making noise. Even the trees seemed to hold their breath. That night, as the village gathered in fear, my grandmother stood up. I know how to stop this, she said. She was the oldest in the village, and she remembered something from long ago. There was a way to break the curse, but it was dangerous. Someone had to go to the forest, find the drum, and destroy it before the witch took another soul. My older brother, Tom, volunteered. I wanted to go with him, but he said no. Stay here. If I don't come back, take care of Mama. With nothing but a machete and a lantern, he walked into the trees. Tom followed the sound of the drum, stepping over twisted roots and pushing past thick branches. The air smelled like decay. Then, he saw it, a large drum sitting in the middle of a small clearing. It was covered in strange carvings, and beside it stood a tall, shadowy figure. Mama Neka. Her face was wrong, too long, too stretched, with eyes that glowed like fire. Her fingers were thin and sharp like claws. She grinned at Tom, then spoke in a voice that sounded like dry leaves scratching against wood. You want to break my drum? Then give me something in return. Tom didn't answer. He gripped his machete, his heart pounding. The witch laughed. Fine, she said. If you won't offer yourself, I will take someone else. Then, the drum started beating on its own. Boom, boom, boom. Tom felt dizzy. The ground shook. He saw faces in the trees, Jide, the hunter, the old woman, all staring at him with hollow eyes. They reached for him, whispering, pulling. But then, Tom did something unexpected. Instead of running, he grabbed the drum and smashed it against a rock. A horrible scream filled the air. The witch howled, her body twisting and shrinking. The trapped souls burst out of the drum in a cloud of white mist. The trees shook, and suddenly, the drum shattered. Mama Neka let out one final shriek before vanishing into the darkness. And then, silence. Tom stumbled out of the forest at dawn, dirty and shaking but alive. The drum was gone. The disappearances stopped. The village was safe. My grandmother smiled and said, "The curse is broken." From that day on, no one ever heard the drum again. And no one ever spoke Mama Neka's name at night. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more terrifying African folktales. What would you do if you heard the cursed drum in the middle of the night? Let me know in the comments.